Hi, so I'm going to look at the very perplexing, crazy making case of Karen Reed and her boyfriend, Officer John O'Keefe. And this comes out of Boston. And, and I think it was maybe a few years ago or so. Right now, I'm not really focused on that so much. But there's a big uh, again, pardon the wound back. It will sound like that's it, not me. Anyway, okay. Having said that, now to get on with it. Um, some are saying that she may have intentionally killed him when she dropped him off at a party by backing over him. Um, and other people say the autopsy pictures and the wounds that he has look like dog bites, and there was a dog that the family that had the home was having issues with biting other dogs or other animals that seemed to find threatening, and they were having some time a hard time to rehouse the dog, who clearly they cared for very much, and uh, didn't want to have put down. I've seen the pictures just that are on the net that you can see of his arm, and it does look like there's some puncture wounds. So I don't know that I believe that he was not inside that home unless they let the dog out and the dog found him lying there and bit him for some reason, maybe trying to drag him or I'm just trying to be fair. But what I really want to see is this a cover up? Because I could see how it could be go either way. Um, is this a cover up by the people at the party? There could also be a situation where we got more than one thing being true. Um, maybe she did accidentally hit him, but he also did end up going inside the party and having received really incredible fractures of his head and black eyes, two black eyes. Um, some think that he may have been beaten by those that were in the house at the party. And there was a mixture of men and women there that were all or connected to law enforcement. So this is a little bit of what I've been able to kind of pick up that is important to know. But what I want to see, I just want to ask if the people in the house where the party was going on, and I will in the description box later kind of give more information about the man's name. I think last name is Albert. Uh, the home that they went to, they apparently had all been at a bar and having a great night, and though they weren't really apparently well known to each other, there was an offer thrown out by this man that owned the home, pardon the wind back, and people largely that were connected to law enforcement apparently went back to his place to party on. But there's a big discrepancy between the injuries that were found to be upon John O'Keefe being created by either his girlfriend accidentally hitting him or having some sort of uh, assault from others, maybe people that were at the party in the house. There's also been some claims that I don't know, maybe something of his, maybe like his phone, I don't know, could have tracked him to be inside of the home. I'm not sure about that. There was also a thing that people, I think one of the, maybe the wife of the couple that has the home could have looked up how long it would take to pass away from hypothermia. But then it came out later that apparently I read that this entry was after the fact. So that's significant. I can understand being curious after the fact, but still, something Karen wouldn't be able to provide on her own, even with the vehicle. She made a 3-point turn, um, and apparently, like, her vehicle's log box has record of the rate of speed and that she turned and how fast she was going and all of this. And I think I read that it just didn't seem to necessarily jive with his injuries or something along those lines. But I'm not sure. I think two things could be true. She could have had a falling out with him. I don't know. And not realize what she had done because she was driving under the influence. And so what people remember, and when they're scared, and I'm sure she is, what they remember may not be in fact true, but somebody's not telling the truth. I just think it's very suspicious that he did have what looked like potentially claw marks and puncture, from teeth, canine teeth on his arm. And him could have been put back out in the snow to die of hypothermia and his injuries. There's so many questions, and I don't have enough info at hand on this case. Okay, so the people of that household cause his passing. I get a King of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. We do get more of an active and escalating, so to speak, action taken around a male with the King of Pentacles. So we are shown a man that's taking action, or there's something that's happening going on with him. And the Three of Pentacles. Okay, this is okay. this is the card that I would expect to see if there's more than one person involved. And I'm getting that there's more than one person involved around this King of Cups, which is, I believe, the victim here, John. I keep getting cups regarding him. I think he was also very much in his cups with the readings that I've done. So I do think there was a small group of people, maybe 1, 2, 3, who knows, that are connected to what happened to him. And the first card I'm getting is a male. And this would definitely denote some aggression with the Eight of Wands. In fact, it would denote an escalation of potential violence, for example. But let's just continue on. So I think there's some real interesting answers right there that are very forthright, that this would be this would involve not just one person, but a small type of a group of people around John's death. And I'm getting, firstly, a male, adult male card. This would also, because it's the Pentacles, it would be a man that is very fond of his home and his things, his comforts, his creature comforts. And he would like food and drink and, I always get this card too, the Four of Swords and the Four of Cups. This is someone, this is being numb. With the Four of Cups, not caring. That there is the Four of Swords of needing to pull back and rest, to heal. And to me, it could also be that he was too numb to feel his injuries. But I see a withdrawal here, and a certain lack of feeling, a lack of connection. So I'm getting the answers here pretty clear, that there's some violence around one man in particular, perhaps at that place, but he has assistance. He has some help concerning, and when I get this card, this King of Cups, I feel like this is, at this point, John, because every time I read on John, I get a King of Cups. So I'm going to say that I'm picking up on violence, in particularly out of one male that I'm being shown. And then he has assistance from maybe a couple, 2 or 3, maybe other people, maybe just a couple, to deal with John. I almost sense that there's like him being deliberately put out there. Almost like that's him numb, under the influence with the Four of Cups, not feeling connected, feeling disconnected, and needing to have some sort of care, frankly. Needing to, at this point, go to an ER, there's something medically wrong, not being left out there. The Three of Wands and the Six of Cups. Well, this is interesting. We're getting at the past, and we're getting looking toward the future. We're looking for an opportunity. So there's something from the past that is relevant, and that'll probably end up coming out. Maybe there was some conflict that's based in the past with him and this other person, or a past situation that they disagreed upon. I'm not sure why there was violence, but I'm getting that there is explosive or very quick and burst of energy with that Eight of Wands around a King of Pentacles. I definitely could attribute that to be like losing one's temper, and like in a targeted manner, because often with the Eight of Wands, these wands are shown usually flying in one like specific direction, not just, every which way. And often that's towards someone or toward a goal. And in this case, I feel like this was towards him. Those are the first two cards I get. And so that really does give me, in all the years I've been reading about, unfortunately, cases of criminal activity and things like that, and unfortunate things that have happened to people, this feels like a violent type of energy around a man. It's kind of, wouldn't surprise me. Maybe he upset someone, upset this male. Maybe the topic was something about the past, or, I'm not sure. But we're getting a significance of the past and of children, childhood, growing up, family, and I feel like looking for opportunity with that Three of Wands. There was some future foresight. There's the kind of the past and the future. Maybe it could even be talking about generational differences. For example, I'm not sure. What else? We get the Lovers, and we get the Six of Swords. So I get a couple. I'm going to say that this is probably a couple, because other readings that I did off camera indicated I kept seeing all these people. And I thought, these look like some women here and some men. So to me, I was picking up on the straight up on the I think the household that he'd been dropped off at, and not Karen. Anyway, we have a couple here. I think potentially that's highlighted, or an agreement of some kind, and moving forward. So this could be that either people come to an agreement and work together, or it could be literally a married couple or a partnered up couple that are working together to get out of a sticky situation or a dramatic situation, or they're trying to, or they're going through a tough time as well. You could look at it as relationship that goes through difficulty. Again, sorry about the wound back. Get the Ten of Swords and the Seven of Wands. It's just like some complete meltdown, some over the top response as well. Sometimes the Ten of Swords can be an overkill or overreacting with too much excessive response. And I feel like I'm getting a card of the Seven of Wands could also, in many other decks, be seen as a card of somebody taking on the challenge to protect themselves or to defend themselves. So I'm not sure what went on, but I do get hints of violence here. And I do get hints of more people than just Karen. That this man's passing is looking like it has to do with primarily one male and maybe a couple of helpers. I get the Tower, and I get the Two of Swords. Well, I think that there's going to be some pretty shocking change that comes that's not expected. And someone's been trying to avoid making a move, making a choice, taking a stand, making a decision. There's a delay potentially with that Two of Swords, a stalemate. Maybe they're going to have a mistrial, or declare a hung jury. I don't know. But there's something that's not expected that's going to come. And then it looks like it's something that can't, maybe that where there's, with the Two of Swords, a struggle to make a choice about one way or the other. The Hangman. Okay, yes. There's some kind of delay. And the Star. Okay, wait a minute. I got it. Actually, it would be the Magician. And there's hope with the Star and the Hierophant. So this shows manipulation. This shows someone that could be literally has tricks up their sleeve or an ability to get what they want. One of the key things that I was getting also when I would throw cards on this case was the person that is responsible is someone who definitely gets like that bullying card of the Five of Swords, and that has to win and is very controlling with the Four of Pentacles. Those were other cards that kept showing up in this case. And I think there may have been some issues going on between he and the girlfriend that night. She may not have even wanted to take him there. I don't know. There could have been some back and forth, but it looks to me like somebody else came at him other than her, a man, and then who got some help afterward. And it looks like there's some kind of potential violence there with that Eight of Wands. So there is definitely a potential of some kind of a delay in a decision, or some kind of it, it could be too that this will lend people the ability to see how someone could have manipulated something, potentially, maybe some people. But I feel like there's some indecision, there's some hold that comes with this trial. And I do feel like someone's definitely tried to cover things up here. I do feel like it's a male primarily. There's something here, though. I don't know if this is somebody like finding Jesus, the star, and the Hierophant. Or is this a hope for the conservative support of a community, potentially, too? The Emperor and the Queen of Cups. Well, this could be the girlfriend. This could be, the law, because often the emperor is the authority figure. It could even be in some way representing John, because he was a law enforcement officer, but or a husband, maybe even a husband in that home, and that was there, and a Queen of Wands. That could be even a wife. But on this, I'm feeling that it could potentially be more likely to be authority. Queen of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, some kind of plan here that was thoughtfully enacted. Action was taken, but mindfully so. So I do think that my opinion is the cards show that in all probability that people, or at least some people, not necessarily everybody that was there, but there's at least a few key people that helped some male figure there that I think did cross paths in a violent fashion and is responsible. Because again, the very first card that I got was a King of Pentacles and a profuse energy coming out. Again, I feel like somehow we're going to see some kind of delay, or delays that are very significant. But they give us the opportunity to look at something from a different perspective and get a bigger point of view than we normally would. All right, now I'm just going to see, and again, I'm just going to say it, please forget the wound back. Yes, it goes. Okay. I want to look at this just to try and get as much kind of consensus as possible. So let me just take a look from the other perspective now. Did Karen read? How about that? Is Karen Reed being set up? Yes or no? Is Karen Reed being set up in the case of John O'Keefe and his death? Okay. I get the Seven of Wands. I'm going to say yes. This is, again, I've said before that often in other decks, this is a card of can be seen as defending yourself, having to take on a number of different challenges that spring up and demand your attention kind of one after the other. It's a very intense time, and it's very trying, and you have to be on your toes. And I get the Four of Pentacles trying to hold on. There's, again, also the want to control, but I feel like out of self-preservation in this case, especially with the other card. So the answer to me is, yeah, she's trying to basically keep her butt from going to prison. And I do feel like she's defending, it's a very tight case that she could definitely end up seeing time for, despite everything. A real worry. Page of Swords. This is news or information, a message. And usually with the swords, it's quick coming. It would be like direct messaging and texting, this kind of thing. And the Three of Pentacles. They need to look at messages with all the people involved, not just Karen, but the people at that house. There's something, I don't know. These are, once again, it's people talking that are working together toward a common aim. There you go. Again, I don't think that is necessarily Karen. This does not make me feel these are not the cards that I get for somebody that did this. Or, yeah, I'm not saying she's any angel or anything. To me, it sounds like I also got cards that show up. There's way too much drinking going on in that sector. All the cups all the time, numbers of cups. And the devil comes up, where addiction is concerned. So I think there's a tendency to abuse substance in this community of people that are under the scope here, both sides. At least that's what the cards brought up. Okay. Wow, look at that. We get the King of Cups again. All right. And we get the Four of Cups. I feel like somebody's like blackout here, not feeling, not aware, just not connected. And there's a small group of people that are talking. I think they need to check, and I'm sure that they have electronic devices and so on and so forth, because it looks to me like there was some messages between people going on to do, I think, with John O'Keefe. And there's just a numbness that can be shock, that can be a sense of shock and denial. But also not, and sometimes it can be like not really caring. It can just be you're so overwhelmed that you're tapped out. The Knight of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. Yeah, once again, I'm feeling like these, I'm being pointed toward a male again. I feel like this is the main person that is responsible for the way that um, John O'Keefe passed. There's like a diligence here and a focus, an action, potentially violent, with the Knight of Wands. That's movement. The Knight of Wands is pretty fast moving, and it can be out of anger, it can be out of passion. And in this case, we've got, again, all of those wands. I tend to think there's making somebody respond very quickly. I don't know if this is arguing or what. Two of Wands and Justice. Wow. So again, is this going to be a mistrial? Is this going to have to be retried? Justice, or is justice going to break the inertia of this case? I get the Nine of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. Well, this really gives a domestic feeling and a feeling of comfort and lifestyle around a home. So, Six of Wands, there's recognition of effort, and there's judgment. Well, this would be a big change coming. People being held to account and passing perhaps some form of judgment. Maybe after some delays. But I believe that when they look again at the details, I feel like certain things are going to stand out that just don't quite um, that just don't quite marry up. Perhaps they leave enough room for some doubt. The Ten of Cups and the Nine of Cups. Again, this is what I was getting before. It's just like there's a lot. It feels like there's too much substance, and there's multi-generational energy here, family. I think that there was other people in the home, various ages. I think there was some young adults and definitely the older people there. That's interesting. But I'm getting this again feeling of, almost to me it feels like, oh, that's too much. Here we have lovers and we have fighting, arguing. So I think there was some contention going on while they were partying that night, because I'm getting the Two of Cups and I'm getting the Three of Cups and Temperance, um, needing to not go to extremes, not drinking too much, not getting too angry, nothing in extreme. Okay, for one thing. And the Two of Cups and the Three of Cups. And we're talking about, I'm getting a lot about couples, um, and choices that people make with the Judgment card. So I think that there's some responsibility for, by almost kind of like everybody kind of there but the girlfriend, but also these people there. There's something that they're not quite off the hook. Knight of Swords. This is very fast moving energy news. And the Eight of Cups of neglect and abandonment, walking away. So this could be some kind of call of like, okay, well, if you thought you hit him or whatever, and you could be done for manslaughter, something along these lines. I'm not sure, but I don't know that she's intentionally have done this. Tower and the Two of Swords. But this was unexpected. I keep getting that. And there was some kind of stalemate. I think stubbornness is also another theme that comes up in this reading again and again. The desire to control, to be the last one standing, to that you don't back down, is very much a theme going on in this reading. We have death connected then to the Tower, the Two of Swords. Look at that. And death. And the Empress. So, I don't know. It could be that there is an end. An end for possibly with this Empress, is this representing Karen? Maybe. Maybe it's an end for her and something that, she doesn't expect. Of course that would be true. But there's something else here. That happens that is not anticipated. And the Empress could be like one of the wives there. Usually kind of a wife card, a wife, a mother card. This was not something that was expected. Hmm. Well, I think there are women, and I feel like they might have a couple of women here, and I feel like they have yet to be able to say something yet, or they're waiting with the Three of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, something yet to come to pass, to gel, to manifest regarding this case. I think there's a lot of information here that is being kept quiet. And right, I'll stop at this point because I'm nearly like 50 minutes. And I will do a part 2, another deep dive. But so far, what I'm getting makes me have great doubt that Karen Reed did this necessarily all on her own. And normally I wouldn't think that. But looking at the picture that's all over the internet of his arm and seeing those puncture bites, learning about the house having a dog that had issues biting and they had to rehome him, and they got rid of the dog after this incident. The dog's name was Chloe, and the German Shepherd, and they claim that they put the dog in the bedroom or something like that for the evening. I just don't know. I just don't know that if he didn't have those things, maybe I could just go, oh yeah, she probably hit him with the car, and it's not just road rash. But it makes you definitely feel like he got hit here with something. He had 2 black eyes. If this is true, I heard that it was 2 black eyes, and the blunt force trauma is what caused his death, as well as hypothermia. But from what I understand, I think there were also other broken fractures of the head, and I've just got to find out more about that. The other thing was, I just had it. What was it? Let me think. What was that? I remember what it was. That apparently her taillights, there may have been like a picture or some image somehow of the taillights of her vehicle when she was leaving, because she had to apparently do this a certain turn to leave. And from what has been said, it doesn't look like they show any damage. So like, okay, if she would have hit him after she dropped him off and she was leaving, again, sorry, the wind back, there is no damage to her vehicle with the tail lights and stuff, from what I understood. Now, if I'm wrong, please correct me below. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. If you appreciate readings like this, please give me a big thumbs up if you would be so kind and help my algorithm. And, well, I'll see you in the next video. And I will dig some more into this case because it's really a quagmire. Really a quagmire. So far, with the cards that I'm getting, I'm looking more towards something going on after she dropped him off. Just because of the cards I'm getting, and then this certain evidence that looked like dog bite on his arm, and you know, it's curious. Okay, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next reading.